Okay, so Damian Lillard got traded and he's going to the Bucks. What the hell just happened? This is like on the short list of me being shocked to see a Woj tweet. Because there are so many moving parts, I have no idea how I'm... Okay, so DeAndre Ayton is going to the Blazers, along with Jrue Holiday, a Bucks 2029 unprotected first, swap rights in 2028 and 2030 to the Blazers. So basically the Blazers got 3 picks from the Bucks at the tail end of this decade, Jrue Holiday and DeAndre Ayton for Dame. The Suns get Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. I mean, let's start with Dame. I mean, from an asset standpoint, my brain is so jumbled right now. Like, I just want to talk about the basketball for right now. I mean, trust me, there's going to be more than one video about everything that just happened here. So Dame and Giannis are on the same team, along with Chris Middleton. And, I mean, you want to talk about a way to juice up your offense. I mean, you talk about Damian Lillard pull-up threes. We all know what that looks like. And so, I mean, you think about the effectiveness of the Giannis-Dame or the Giannis-Middleton pick and roll. I mean, we're talking about Giannis screening for Dame now. That is, I mean, does this just jumpstart the Bucks right back into title favorites? I mean, I know I was doing the Bucks title favorites thing last year, but, like, this is Damian Lillard, man. This is one of the best offensive players in the league. I mean, it's not just the pick and rolls. I mean, obviously, you know, the pull-up threes and everything are going to be insane, but it's the ISOs. It's just the gravity that he has when crossing half court, and the Bucks offense at times just being a little bit of a mess, and sometimes whether it be not having a plan or, you know, play random or whatever as it was. Adrian Griffin, the new coach now, we had questions about how he was going to change it up. I was thinking, you know, more off-ball sets or whatever for Middleton or Jrue. I mean, Dame is just a new offense in and of himself. I mean, hell, the Damian Lillard, Brook Lopez pick and roll should be really effective. And okay, sure, I mean, look, they traded picks at the tail end of the decade. Dame, of course, is not super young, so as far as what this is going to look like in 2029 for the Bucks, like, I don't know. Some of those are swaps, so they're still going to end up with picks anyway, and who knows what the Blazers are going to look like at that point. But in terms of, you know, the near foreseeable future, I mean, they're right there, and as far as how Giannis feels about this, given his contract situation, I mean, I think they definitely got better with this move. I mean, again, what it's going to look like 6 years from now, I don't know. Now, okay, sure, defensively, Jrue, better defensive player than Dame. It's not a hot take to say that. The Bucks will tell themselves that between Giannis, Brook, Middleton, that defensively they're still going to be A-okay. But yeah, again, on the short list of things to be shocked about when reading Twitter for me. Okay, now let's go to the Blazers side of this. We will get to the Suns. So the Blazers, what's the starting 5 right now? We have Scoot, we have Shaden. I mean, Jrue, if Drew's on the team, like, you have to start Jrue, right? Like, he can't come off the bench given where he's at in his career and everything. But I think it's also fair to believe that Jrue, at some point, is going to get traded for more assets for the Blazers. We've got DeAndre Ayton as the starting 5 now, and I mean, that's something that I was thinking about like a couple weeks ago where I was like, you know, with Shaden and Scoot being the long-term guys for this team, getting a center who can screen for those guys and be a real option on offense would be huge. And I mean, obviously we all know the DeAndre Ayton thing, which it's always been a balancing act in Phoenix between how much are they featuring him and also how aggressive is he. And even when he gets the ball, how often is he sort of, I don't want to say settling, but the dude certainly loves his hook shots, his mid-range jumpers. I mean, he hasn't been a brute force drawing a whole bunch of fouls in his career. So, okay, you know, like that conversation's probably going to keep on continuing. But as far as a talent upgrade from Nurkic to Ayton, I mean, that's clear. You know, like Ayton, much better offensively than Nurkic, even if I would still love to see Ayton shooting more free throws. I mean, Ayton's just better than Nurkic, right? And so now for the Blazers, I mean, it's the Scoot show, man. There is nothing standing in the way. I mean, granted, Jrue plays the same position as Scoot, but even then, Jrue has had some history being as like the off guard, and I don't know if he's going to be on the Blazers if we fast forward 4 months from now, whatever. But Scoot can be Scoot. He can run pick and roll. He can get downhill. He can get to his pull up too, which has already been good. He can make plays for everybody. Shaden's going to have his opportunities. Jeremy Grant's going to be doing all the normal Jeremy Grant things, making a hefty amount of money doing it. The Blazers, their direction moving forward is certainly pretty clear now. And as far as all the assets they acquired here, I mean, the picks from the Bucks at the tail end, those are certainly intriguing. But if you're a Blazers fan, like you're certainly going to be waiting a while for those picks. Now, maybe they could move them in some other deals at some point, whatever. But As far as your instant return on your star player who's been the heart of your team for a very long time now, it's basically DeAndre Ayton, because I think Jrue's not long for the Blazers. Is this the absolute best they could have gotten? I mean, look, based on what we heard, the Heat, I mean, there just didn't seem to be a whole lot of traction really there, and this ended up being the 3-team deal, but there were always rumors about, will Hero go somewhere, and then extra picks are going there, but I mean, in terms of just one player coming back to you, like DeAndre Ayton, to me, is a pretty damn good player to get. Is it the absolute peak guy you could have gotten right now in a Dame trade? I mean, I guess it depends how you feel about like OG Anunoby or Tyler Hero or whatever, but Ayton, mid-20s, like the talent he has, the potential he has for more, even with the frustrations, lack of aggressiveness, like I've already said. Like, I get it with Ayton, but I think Ayton's a pretty decent player to bet on. As far as the Raptors thing that came out like 2 days ago, and then it seemed like for a minute the Raptors were the favorite there. It seemed like they weren't going to give up Scotty Barnes, and it seemed like they didn't really want to give up OG either, which, I mean, from their standpoint, it's like, you don't want to give up the young guy who you think can be a star, and you also don't want to give up OG, because if you're going to trade for Dame, then you want to still have OG in your team. Like, that's just kind of the world in which I was sort of operating in with them. So, okay, the Bucks said, screw it, here you go, guys. And here's the Eastern Conference team, as a Celtics fan, that now is going to freak me out even more than they already freaked me out, even if that round one was the way it was. I'm all over the place because I was just talking about the Blazers. But, okay, and now we go to the Suns. Why the hell did the Suns trade DeAndre Ayton for Yusuf Nurkic? I know they got Nasir Little and Keon Johnson and Grayson Allen. So, okay, like they shored up their rotation. I don't know if it's going to come out later on that they got like some second rounders or something as well, but like DeAndre Ayton's just better than Yusuf Nurkic. Okay, I understand like second apron's kind of scary and they wanted more rotation players, but to me, and of course, they just got Frank Vogel, so you'd think that Vogel could be not the Ayton whisperer, because Ayton averaged like 18 and 10, like Ayton's talented and everything, but we know what the relationship there was. I felt like Frank Vogel could have been the best thing for DeAndre Ayton, and so to me, that happening would have been better than getting a bunch of stuff for him, which is basically what they got. They got a bunch of stuff. Like Yusuf Nurkic is a guy, okay? He'll set screens, he'll box out, he'll throw up these inconsistent sort of flip shots towards the rim. Defensively, he does not move as well as he once did after, lower body injuries. Now, I have been one of the biggest critics of Chauncey Billups' defensive schemes ever since he arrived in Portland. I felt like they've just a lot of time had too aggressive of a scheme, whether it be putting two on the ball, having the big play too high up on screens. And so my guess is that Vogel is going to have more of a drop coverage, and maybe that'll suit Nurkic better. Like, again, Nurkic's best days are behind him. But yeah, from Phoenix's standpoint, it's surprising to look at. I would rather have DeAndre Ayton than what they got for DeAndre Ayton. I understand the depth and money long-term conversations, but yeah, and I still acknowledge the frustrations at times with Ayton. I get it, I do. As for Nurkic, I mean, look, he's going to screen for Book, KD, and Beal, and okay, cool. He's going to average like 12 points. But if the screen setting ends up being super effective, then like, okay, sure, like Nurkic can have a place on the team. I don't want to act like he's horrible or whatever. But even then, he's also had injuries and stuff, and okay. But yeah, man, this is just crazy. And from Miami's standpoint, I mean, you didn't get Dame. And not only did you not get Dame, but the Bucks got Dame. As a Celtics fan, I don't know which one I should have been more scared of, I guess. But yeah.